Okay, everyone. Now, here we go and see what we can do. Hello, everybody on YouTube, as well as on our regular program on Zoom. Thank you, everyone, coming together. Okay, so how is everybody doing? If anybody on Zoom have any question, Rosie, Samuel, Namaste, and thank you everybody, Joao and Christosmus. Namaste. So there was last week, I was not in the Sangha. I had a very dear friend of mine who trained and practiced several years. And he's a very proactive, what do you call it, corporate speaker for the wellness. And he was delivering the Sangha last week. And which is probably, I think, on Yogi Gurukul page, not on my personal page on YouTube. If you are interested, please do hear about it. And further, for this week, personally, I present, I am in Germany and not in a, what do you call it, Croatia or UK. I have several questions people have already inputted, and some people still, if anybody have question in the YouTube or Zoom, please do not hesitate to ask.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Hello. I have a question, if that's
Please
okay.
do.
Today. Now, can I ask now?
Please do, please do, please do.
Why did you choose to fall in silence for 3 days? What was the feeling that led you to take that
What did
choice?
I say?
Why did you choose to fall in silence for 3 days? What feeling led you to take that choice?
And that was also a topic today. Somebody asked to talk about it. Why is so important go into silence, and how important it is, and what beneficial it is to do it. So that is already on agenda today. Somebody already asked that one. That's good to start with. Yeah. So what happens sometimes is important to have a self-contemplation. When your nervous system is over-exaggerated sometime, or sometime you like to connect, say you are in a progress or in a practice, there is a little hurdle or little hindrance in a practice, and you want to overcome that hurdle, you can go into a silence because you want to align that. Are you really able to hear yourself, or your conscious mind is taken over? Point one. Second part, when you go into a silence, that it also awakens your unconscious part of the brain as well, and also awakens your whole body as well. Sometimes you can have a physical silence, but actually you are not silent from inside. So what happened for a long period of time, I have not taken any time to look at the MOT, self-assessment, So I would like to get in touch with myself. I was too much engaged with the senses and outward. I would just wanted to hold for a few days just with myself. That was the main purpose actually, go inside. So I can spend some time with myself, not just only with my senses, sharing, but holding, just being a tortoise, like hibernation. You know, hibernation? I went in mental hibernation. So, or you can call it a conscious decision to trying to understand how your senses are reacting to everything that is happening around you. So refining the or realigning my awareness to my senses whenever they come in contact with. So it's important part. If you cannot, you're fine tuning, putting effort to a fine tuning. It's very important. But sometimes it can be difficult to, you can be physically silent, but mentally not silent, or mentally engaging, physically also engaging. So at least sit down one, work with one, so you actually get to see all the thought that arise in the mind, like waves. So observation of the self can also be achieved through it. Remember, your whole body is a frequency. Your whole body is a frequency. Your whole body is a sound, a space. And when you go into a silence, all it happens, you go into the process of self-awareness. You go into the process of watching the waves of your frequency arises in the body. Even your karma, your samskaras, all the held information inside you is also come from the frequency, the vibration. When you are not engaging or interacting physically, what happens? You're about to process the whatever come up to the surface, you observe them, but not identify. Basically, you can practicing a indirect way of non-duality. Even not identifying that non-duality, that you're practicing non-duality, just being aware of the frequency, what happens. When you process information, before any thought happen in the body, there's millions of activities have taken place in the nervous system, out inside the body, in biochemical. But when you become aware of the thought, you only know there's a thought, maybe a one or two replication behind it. But when you go into the silence, you refine your awareness to understand the process of thought development. If the deeper you can go, the deeper layers of your thought development or your mental or the mind energy you can become aware of, a subtle body you can become aware of, you freer you can become. You can easily let go the reaction of the mind that can happen to you. That was the main reason actually. I went into it. I do highly recommend for everyone to do it. I think is a important time to find time for yourself. Doing things is again you're engaging with the senses. But when you're observing, you're actually not doing, but same time you are doing, not doing. You actually withholding, confronting yourself, being in mirror with your thought, being in mirror with your awareness of the feeling, being in mirror with your sensation that happens in your body. So next practice.
Yogi, a comment came in from YouTube while you were sharing that reason, and it came from Ozzy and basically said Vipassana. So is this Vipassana?
Yeah. You can try Vipassana, but sometime if you can't at least make yourself effort to go anywhere, if you can't go into the 10-day Vipassana, originally used to be 40-day Vipassana, and then Goenka came, he made it only for 10 days. Traditionally, Vipassana, as described in Rigveda, is 40-day practice. Then it came down to a 20-day, as some people, some states at then it came down to only for 10 days. If you really want to have experience of Vipassana, I do recommend a good ashram life for 40 days in total silence. And the lifestyle supported to it. Sometime I had a teacher once, he said, you can be amongst hundreds of people, but you should always be alone. If you can master that art, you will never feel aloneness, you never feel lonely, because there is nobody else, just only you. So if you can live amongst your friends, family, relatives, 10 people, 20 people, 5 people, 6 people in the home, but still you feel an individual, you still feel alone. And you feel contained in that. If you can feel contained in that, you have mastered of self. So Vipassana, if you do it 10 days, you just only reaching to the surface and you become to an end. Personally, I would recommend for 20 days minimum. If you can do a 40 days, best practice you can do it. If you cannot find a center to go to 40 days because they are not hosting it, you do it by yourself. You go, practice, come back, find a 40 day of self, especially nowadays self-isolation. Everybody practicing self-isolation, it can be a good meditation for you. But rather than fighting with self-isolation, embrace and enjoy the self-isolation, go into meditation. You will never feel isolated. You will feel vibrant inside. So Vipassana, yes, is the option you can do it. But art, if it makes you addicted, that's where the point is. If you have to go back again and again, becomes the problem. You must learn the art how to be alone. And that's what Vipassana is, Vipassana. Seeing the art of seeing yourself. Art of seeing yourself as you are and accepting that. And next question, is that helps Christmas?
Yes, I understand it.
Next program, if you do like to come and join me, I probably plan to do it in Croatia. And I usually do it in India for 12 days, 11 days program. But you can try and enjoy, join me if you like. And not far away from Greece.
A question on this topic also came in, and it is about what if anything did you need to do to prepare for what you went through last weekend?
This is a good point, because to practice a silence, you need to prepare mentally, because it can trigger trauma, it can trigger the completely loneliness experience, but sometimes it can trigger you feel completely vulnerable. First of all, you need to have a good guidance, and emotions start triggering. You will start feeling pain in the body. You start reacting. Who actually can support your affirmation, the sankalpa, is very important. if you can find a way that your sankalpa can be supported, you have a possibility. And in relation to what else you can do to prepare, at least a week or 2 weeks clean diet. Clean diet. Otherwise, you will start feeling pain. Cut down the wheat. No wheat for 2 weeks before you go into silence. Because the wheat creates the cramping and the pain in your body while you are meditating. It also makes you lethargic. It takes away your alertness. Go on a plant-based diet. Second, when you go on a plant-based diet, make sure no onion, no garlic, and no mushroom, because they are tamasic nature. So cut them down as well from the diet. If you need to, you are free to use the dairy. I'm not against it, as long as it's clean dairy, not coming from slaughterhouse where the babies are taken away from the mamas. If you have your own cows, drink it. Otherwise, cut off the dairy too. So have a good, clean, plant-based diet. But that does not mean you stuff yourself with tofu. That does not mean you stuff yourself with unwanted protein and pills and tablets. You don't need it. Practice more pranayama before you go into it. While you are practicing, no yoga, no pranayama, no any other activity, just a silence and meditation. So you can prepare with the diet, you can prepare mentally, make sure there's somebody else. You are not busy running to the supermarket buying food. You can't. You stay indoors, remain. Whatever you have, somebody else can cook the food for you. You are not worried about making the noise and pot and pans, that you also need to disturb, because your hearing will be heightened. You do not want to get agitated from the sound and noises. You want to remain only in a meditative state. But if you don't have anybody who can cook for you, go on a fruit diet. Just only eat fruit, which doesn't need to cook. They left to wash. Just eat spread fruit 3 times, 4 times. I do not eat meal after 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. That should be your last meal at 4 p.m. No food. Next morning, somewhere around 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, you can have your breakfast. You have one more in the middle. So main one in midday, earlier one is light one, last one is light one, if you need to. So go with fruit diet, go with vegetable diet, just go even the raw, not a problem. But avoid less distraction as you can. But important part that you are mentally prepared. Don't have, I need a protein, I need the vitamins, I need this, I need this. You're creating fear inside. You can't meditate. You can't go. In fear, you're more fighting with it to survive. You are not accepting, you are not embracing. So there's several ways you can prepare. That's why it's important that there's somebody can guide, navigate, and take care of all the mundane activities for you. So I will do recommend it. If you can find a center to go to, please do. And next question, I think somebody asked, was about what is the purpose of life? That is a big question to ask. There was left from 2 weeks ago, and somebody asked on an Instagram story, what is the purpose of life? Purpose of life is to be happy. Purpose of life is to be happy. Purpose of life to live life celebrating, not suppressing. Purpose of life, I will not use word freedom because freedom does not exist. More you try to attain the freedom, the more you trap yourself. So word freedom is created to control you. So accumulate, you accumulate material concept, but accumulate good karma in your own self. And celebrate your life and share your life as much as you can, because there is too many things that you can get hang on to. And more you try to save one after the other, all you're doing, you're burying yourself. So purpose of life is you can call it salvation. I wouldn't call it salvation because it's very limited. Liberation is also limited. Mukti and moksha, two words. Mukti is you are liberated from some mental thought, you're liberated from some other thing that is holding you back. So I will say go for moksha. Complete. There is no need to be liberated. The moment to understand yourself is the purpose of life. Who actually you are. How, it's not like what your mind can do. That's not the purpose of life. That is you developing skills of intellect, how to survive is not the purpose of life. To understand your inner intelligence, who actually you are is purpose of life. Or you can call it who am I. So once you find it, who are you, but not hold on to it. Drop that as well. Purpose of life is exist with no footprint. Purpose of life to master the art that death doesn't come to you. Death should only become an idea. But at present, death exists. You are fighting every day, 24/7. You are fighting to survive on this day. So make sure before the death comes to you, you have already died. Your mind is dead. You celebrating the life, but your mind is dead. That is the purpose of life. Not to live in a fear or hanging on to it. That can be the purpose of life. Depending what is your aim, where are you in your life, that will define what is your purpose of life. Given circumstances, where are you in your life, where are you in your mental capacity, where are you in the path of your transformation. It's very easy for me to say from there, but if you are here, that is your purpose of life. Whatever you are, first you discover what your wavelength you are existing, what frequency you are existing. Try to live from present reality. And once you start vibrating from the present reality, your transformation is possible. But you are here, you want to live here, you want to transform from here, not possible. This gap, who's going to live this gap? Nobody else. You have to live that gap. So try to find your fine-tuning with your present reality, present sensation of your existence. Once you find that, then you try to create a possibility for transformation. That is the purpose of life. Discover who you are, where, what frequency you are vibrating. That can be the purpose of life. Other purpose of life, there is a purpose of life is describe what you align with. Material person aligned with, his purpose of life is accumulate. A spiritual person who identified with spirituality, his purpose of life is also accumulate spirituality. But real purpose of life, from according to me, celebrate your life. Don't worry about spirituality, don't worry about materialism, just live life as true, honest as possible to yourself, making sure any of your actions is not creating harm to any living being or dead being. Conscious, be kind, not kind in the head, Not kind in your thinking or in your reading. Not kind only to yourself, but kind in your every thought. Is every action of your existence is being kind? That can be the purpose of life. Other purpose of life can be, there's many reasons. I can give you reasons of purpose of life. But important part, find a way to be happy. Find a way to contemplate love in you. Find a way to be compassionate. Find a way to be kind. Find a way to create a possibility for an inner transformation. How can yourself be free from this cycle of karma? That can be the purpose of life. There's many, depend what you align most. A student, his purpose of life is to study. If he, at the time, his karma, at the time being as a student to study, but he want to earn money, that is a problem. A student's purpose of life that time is to study. If my purpose of life is to teach, my purpose of life is to share, but I don't want to do that. I start accumulating, I withhold myself. I'm not living my purpose of life. So first, to understand who you are, given circumstances, it might change in some time. Then you live your truth, moment to moment, in real-time sensation, real-time experience, truthful, be kind, compassionate in those circumstances. That is the purpose of life. Fine-tuning, finding the balance in your inner and outer reality. That is the purpose of life. Making sure that inside you and outside you are not two, they are one. That is the purpose of life. So there's many things I can talk about purpose of life, but simplest way I can say, learn to breathe properly, learn to be kind, learn to celebrate your life, not to live with the guilt and a shame and a fear. How can you do that? Find your way. Whatever suits you the best, find your way. Don't feel sorry for yourself. Nobody gonna help you. You need to start the journey at some point. That you can make purpose of life. So there's many topics we can talk about. And each topic can be elaborated. How to find this, how to be this, how to be this. But as a general question, I hope that might be able to help, and that was enough interesting. And I had one more question asked from somebody. Was let me read. I think somebody sent it on Instagram.
It was me, maybe.
Yes, please do. Can you ask?
Yes, it was about the mantra. You know, I've read many times on the books while studying your.
You read it, or you heard it, or you had desire?
I've heard that I've read. I've heard and I've read that you know sometimes you get initiated, and it's usually the teacher that's giving you the mantra. So I was interested to understand how you get your mantra. The reason is probably selfish, because I'm chanting a lot, and because I read that usually it's the teacher that gives you the mantra. So I wanted to find out.
It's not for your place to judge it.
Sorry?
If the teacher is giving the mantra, first of all, they have to be a trust in a teacher, faith in a teacher's gift, and surrender in a teacher's teaching. So how the teacher can give the right mantra to you is not your problem to decide. It's teacher's problem to decide. You can't take teacher's responsibility. The mantra is not right and wrong. So you're already questioning, how do I get the right one? And maybe teacher might have given me the wrong one.
Maybe it's the wrong question. Maybe it's like, how could I have some support from my teacher to just get a little bit more insight on the mantras? Because I'm chanting a lot, and
remember, my dear, each mantra represents certain frequency. Teacher gives you the mantra based on your frequency. Sometimes you can have one universal mantra and anybody can chant it. That mantra will come to the frequency level of the person automatically. So mantra is not wrong or right, or the teacher doesn't have to find the right mantra. It's not supermarket of mantras that teacher have to go and look for, okay, how do I get this person the right mantra? Can you imagine? There's a 20 billion people are chanting the mantra, and the teacher has to find 20 billion mantras. That would be a bit, somebody have to sitting up and or working on the program, computerizing, the finding the right mantra for every single person separate. That is a bit insane question, personally. And also is doubting the ability of teacher. Is first of all, the mantras are coming as a transmission from a teacher. A transmission happens from a teacher of his energy, of his lineage. And once you have it, you need to drop the doubting. As long as you have a doubt, this mantra is not going to work. Doesn't matter how precise mantra you have given by the teacher, it is not going to work. I tell you a story on that. There was a teacher and teaching, and he lived by some beautiful river bank, and he sends his student get some water. He regularly goes to the lectures, and his wife asked him, "What did you learn?" He said, "I don't really know what I learned." So his wife, getting fed up, she went to the Guruji and asked him, "Please, what is my husband doing here, coming every day, leaving me alone at home?" So he said, "I will find out for you and I will tell you the answer at some point." So teacher gives a pot to his student, tell him, "Can you go get some water?" He said, "From where?" It's from the river. So his student walk up to the river, he take the pot, he leave the pot outside and stay by the river, and hoping the river water will come automatically into the pot. And nothing happened. He walked back home empty. And he tell teacher, "But there was no water came in. I just walked to the river bank with the pot in my hand." He said, "No, you have to dip the pot into the river." He said, "Oh, okay." The next day he go along and he take the pot and he take the pot, dip it into the water, take it outside, come back home. They realize there is no water. He said, "What happened?" "You have to open the lid of the pot in order to get the water inside." He said, "Oh, okay." He go again, arrive there. He undo the lid, but he put the pot upside down and take it outside, come back home, there is no water. He said, "What happened?" "No, it was, I went along, I dipped it inside and then take it outside, the water didn't came in." He said, "No, you have to keep the pot upright and dip it in and then take it outside." He said, "Okay." He go along. By that time, he did exactly the same. He put it down, he filled it up, and he walking home and doubting that is there water in the pot? Maybe there is no water in the pot. I might have made a mistake. Maybe something else I supposed to do it. By the time he arrived, there was no pot in Because the doubt, the hole in the bottom was a doubt. So as long as you are doubting, doesn't matter how precisely teacher teaches you, doubt is your biggest failure in any practice. You can have a right guidance. First of all, you have to arrive to the source. Second, you have to merge into the teaching in the pot story. You have to dive into the source. You arrive, and then you dive into the source. You make sure you are open enough to receive the transformation. You are not receiving a transformation from the back end. You literally emerging into it. Not being critical, not thinking negative, means upside down. Open. Go inside, dip it and get filled. If you have a doubt, doesn't matter how much contentment you achieve during the lecture, but by the time you arrive at home, the doubt will drip every knowledge out of you. So the quality of a seeker, quality of a practitioner are no doubt. Must make sure that you are open. You are connected with a good source. You arrive at the source and you dive into the source. Open, receptive, then trusting enough the teaching. That you might be able to carry something in the life. That you might be able to embrace, celebrate, and connect. So in any practice, doesn't matter how great teacher you have, how great mantra that you have been given, if you have any form of doubt to the teacher or toward the mantra or teacher's ability, it's not going to be fruitful. Because there is no synchronicity, there is no alignment with the teaching, there is no connection of energy. First, build that bridge. When you can build that bridge, you create a possibility. So,
Thank you.
on that note, trust the mantra, enjoy, don't doubt it, practice it, and don't swap around, don't change it. Today, I feel like this. It's like sometime in spirituality, you are in a supermarket of spirituality. Today you want to do this, tomorrow you want to do this, then you basically you are lost. There is no dedication. Modern spirituality, there is no dedication, there is no consistency, there is no persistence in the practices. And that's the reason there is no transformation. They always remain on surface level. You go like a plant pot. You buy a plant, you want to get fruit out of it. Fruit doesn't come within 2 months or 6 months. You plant a pot in plant in your garden, in this corner, you wait 2 days, I say, it's not growing, not even happening, there's no fruit. You take it outside, you put it somewhere else. It's not growing, no fruits. You take it outside, put it in third place. All you're doing constantly, not even giving a time for that plant to create a rooting structure, create a growth, and then it may take some fruits. So first of all, root yourself in your practice, root yourself in your sadhana to create a possibility for a transformation, growth, understanding. Allow yourself to merge into the practices. On that note, that will be enough for today. Thank you, everyone. Oh. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you. If you have any questions, please do ask question anytime directly by social media or through by email. And hopefully see you next week. Thank you. Namaste. How's everybody feeling? The today's content will remain available on YouTube. You can always watch them and share them. If you're not subscribed, make sure you connect with the network if you can, or the YouTube channel, I think. Yeah.